I guess it's a countdown to Christmas. Christmas. Mustache. That's right. Respect the stash. I can't look presidential with a mustache. A lot of people in high office don't have a mustache. Oh, except for Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt was an exception to the rule. I think he was the only president who had a mustache. Everyone else was clean shaven. That's right. The Teddy Bear. You look like Paul Blart, Mall Cop. Hi, Eddie. I use two. Who will you exile on the next organization's moments of the boss? I don't understand what that is. Who will I exile on the next organization's mom and nominees? I can read. It's hard to read with dyslexia. I watched you like 4 months ago. Blessings to you. You also, to you and yours. Merry Christmas. I should get my Santa hat. Did you find out who whacked your capo? We're going to find out. We're going to work together. Somebody's going to snitch. Somebody's going to tip me off. If I get the right information. I still haven't finished off my Faygo. I have not pepper. I have a strawberry Faygo. Hello, everyone. We're off to a good start. Got about 6 people watching so far. I wonder what the record of how many people are watching a live stream. I almost had the hiccups. I can speak English, Spanish, German, Russian, and Italian. Wow. You'd be a good interpreter. Not everyone likes the flute. Not everyone likes the flute. Took me 4 years, to learn all those languages. I think we like the language we most use. Some people speak a different language at home than they do in the workplace or at school. Yahoo! A lot of people speak Spanish at home, in the home. I'm glad I don't have to run the fan today. 5 languages in 4 years. Some people are good at picking up languages. I hear Swedish is one of the hardest. Swedish or Norwegian. Looks like I didn't get a lot of sleep. My mom has a very busy schedule. It's hard to keep up with her. She has so many visits to the doctor. No Icelandic. Hungarian, yeah, are the hardest. I can imagine. Imagine trying to speak to somebody who's Icelandic or Hungarian at the emergency room when they come in. They don't feel well, and you try to figure out what's wrong with them. Babies don't speak languages at all. They just cry, and you got to find out what's wrong with the baby. Being a pediatrician or a veterinarian, finding out what's wrong with the dog or with the cat. Oh, that's a language I don't know. In Vista is Italian. Italian is Latin, is a Latin language, just like Spanish. I don't think a lot of people speak Portuguese. Eddie, do I love Leo? Who's Leo? Can ha la sue. Another language I don't speak. That's what I think people should be teaching in school. They should be teaching other languages. People who want to get into intelligence work. Navajo is a language few people speak. They used that during the Second World War. There was a movie about that. Wind Talkers or something like that. Because they had the Enigma. And the Southern Italian ain't the same. I've noticed that. It's like they're two separate countries. They talk about the Sicily and Italy. Don't they not like each other? The Sicilians and the Italians? Sicily's been through a lot. I was watching a little documentary about the history of Sicily. It's almost like Ireland. Ireland had a lot of hardship. But you know what? It's still a country today. Can you pronounce qua? Probably not. The first 45. I have to hear words. I'm not too good at pronouncing what I'm reading. I know a little bit of Russian. I know a little bit of German. A feel-good movie you always recommended. A feel-good movie. What was Shaun of the Dead? That was a feel-good movie. Oh, God Bless America. Have you ever seen God Bless America? Look that up. Bobcat Goldthwait, if I'm saying his name right. He was a stand-up comedian. He was in the Police Academy movies. And he made a couple of movies. Shakes the Clown. That means a one with 45 years. Oh, 45 zeros. Wow, really? 45 zeros. I think trillion, there's million, thousand, million, and trillion. Something like quintillion, or it almost sounds like a Star Trek alien. You can southern it like 45, or wow, it looks like algebra. I think, wasn't Sir Isaac Newton, didn't he rewrite calculus, or he wrote calculus? It's amazing how intelligent people were in ancient times. They had the abacus that they used as a calculator. It's like some tribes had mapped out the galaxy, the universe, before they even had telescopes. It's amazing. I hope I'm losing weight. My neck is fatter than it used to be, depending on how I hold my head. It's frustrating when you gain weight, especially around the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, everything tastes good and it goes right into the mouth. A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. Is everybody having a good day today? What, it's Wednesday? Tomorrow we have 2 appointments. One of these days I'm going to be able to go out and do something fun. I would much like that. I think I'd need that. It'd be a good shot in the arm. Go out and do something fun. Go on a singles cruise. Yes. How many bones have you broken? I broke one. I broke one in my wrist. I punched someone in the head and it broke my carpals, or my metacarpals, or something like that. Something went wrong in my hand when I punched this person in the head. And then my nose was broken. That brought to me much sadness. Being jumped for no reason, just because you're there. Somebody's got the audacity. And it wasn't just one person. If they would have just left me alone, There's something about having your nose broken. It makes the rest of your life kind of uncomfortable, hard to wear glasses. So today is Wednesday, the middle. Today is hump day. They call it hump day. Did you see those commercials with the camel? Camel was like the mascot. What's today? Hump day. And then there was that I love you, man. I love you, man. It was a beer commercial. I broke my nose in a stupid way. I was playing dodgeball, and I was the last one left, and 4 balls came toward me, and I headbutted the floor. Ow. That was gravel. Ow. They have to pick gravel out of your skin. That's got to be hard when you get road rash, or you land on a surface like gravel, Or glass. Glass has got to be the worst. They got to pick all the glass out of the area that you got the road rash. I don't like injuries. Injuries are never fun. Some of them leave permanent scars. My brother threw an arrow into my arm one time. It's like, really? Did you have to throw an arrow into my arm? It was a hunter's tip. We were playing with my dad's arrows. It seems like childhood flies by, but when you're older, it seems like time stands still. I've noticed that. Ever since I turned 50, time just stands still. And they gave me ice. Okay. I guess that stops swelling. Then there's anti-inflammatory. It used to be that's the only reason I would go to the doctor if I hurt myself. Now there's so many things that go wrong with the human body. I think some of it is just made up. They make money off of our ignorance. Half my nose skin was gone, and I had a nosebleed, only ice. Yeah. It takes like 10 minutes for bleeding to stop. I think that's the average amount of time it takes to stop some part of your body from bleeding. You got to hold pressure. It's amazing how our bodies just self-repair. All doctors do is stitch you up, and your body does the rest. Why are you stuck in all capital letters? I don't know why, but here we go. We're back to normal. And I couldn't go home. They kept me. Yep, they keep you until you're good to go, until they can release you. You're being held hostage until they send you home. That happened with my gallbladder. I'm glad they didn't have to put a drain in my gallbladder. It turned out that not antiseptic, antibiotics. The antibiotics really worked. Hi there. You're back. Me new. Okay. Oh, that's Emma. Hello. I was in school apparently the person who picked me up was apparently not my guardian, and he was my auntie. She was my auntie. Isn't it nice to have aunties? Isn't it nice to have family members that can help out when you hurt yourself? Or even just somebody to talk to. I talk to my aunt Janet sometimes. She seems to be the most sane person. She has a sense of humor. I love people with a sense of humor. Gotta have that in my life. I won't be here a lot, but I will be here sometimes. Okay. Good to have you. Let's see. And my cousin had to stare at a nose missing skin. Oh, I won't be here, but mark as read. I remember one time when I was a kid, I fell on my face on the concrete, and I got road rash really bad on my face. It took a couple of days to heal up. Again, it's amazing how the body can just heal. The human body, even from burns, even from, you know, impact. You get bruised up for a while. I like the honey badger. When the honey badger is bitten by a snake, it just falls asleep. It doesn't die like the rest of us. Some snakes' bites have some kind of enzyme that breaks down tissue. I'm gonna make more videos. Well, good. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I like when people make new videos. The best organs: heart, brain, and skin. Yep, the biggest organ, the largest organ of the body is the skin. It's interesting that they look at the skin as an organ. It covers all of your body. It does a lot of good things for us. It protects us from the outside world. The largest, yep, and the liver. Liver self-repairs, from what I understand. It manages the fat in the body. The bile, I think, has to do with the gallbladder. A lot of people have had their gallbladders removed. I guess mine's still going strong. Gallbladder. People still like the doing doing. I should sit out on a porch playing my jaw harp. I should hang some of my masks back there on the wall. I think my mask, I could hang some masks back there just for something to look at. Good Creator Award. You won 4 months and 2 days ago. I won an award? Good Creator. Creator of content. I tried to bring forth content. Yahoo! It was long since we met. Yes, it has been a while. Welcome back to Eddie's Funhouse. What other thing? What should I do? I was singing, I was playing on the harmonica a Mary Poppins song. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So Friday, my brother is coming by. You're sick. You're not the only one. I was sick a couple of weeks ago. I was sick with something terrible. Coughing and pain up in my nasal area. A lot of coughing and sniveling. Sniveling, sneezing, coffee aching, stuffy head fever. Isn't that weird? Well, we're getting into the winter time, so our bodies are adjusting. I drink a lot of orange juice. I was drinking a lot of honey and lemon well into my sick phase. Honey and lemon. Honey down lemon. I never noticed that until the time I mixed honey with lemon. But yeah, lots of orange juice. It kind of manages my fever somehow. Fever, fever when you hold me tight. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's hard to bear. It's been a while since I've heard that song. You give me fever, fever. I like we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Ain't it surprising the temperature's rising whenever her seat waves? We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. I wonder how much money I could earn if I brought my top hat with me and put a handkerchief down and took my hat off, started playing instruments. Yeah, that's Mary Poppins. And then there was Sound of Music. Number one, you're the Duke. You're the Duke. Hey, number one. That was Escape from New York. Have you seen Escape from New York? Look at the other messages. Which one? The one that says, hi, I'm sick too. Look at the other messages above this message. It says, hi, I'm sick too. I was the guy who found you. Hold on. I was the guy who found you on Google, remember? And made it my PFP. Is that what you wanted me to read? Look. Okay, above that message. Degrees, yes. Degrees fever. Wow. And that's Celsius, 100.4. That's probably Fahrenheit. It's no fun having a fever. Fever can cause permanent damage, I think. They say don't take aspirin when you have a fever, something like that. Starve a cold, feed a fever. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. Rocking. I can't say the F word, can I? La 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 lava, chicken. It's amazing how quickly something so popular is not so popular anymore. La 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 lava, chicken. It's spicy as hell. Fahrenheit and 37.8 Celsius. And the normal temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. That's right. I wrote that down because we go by Fahrenheit. 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a ring that tells you your temperature. I like to get a bunch of those and sell them. Just a bunch of rings. That and two-headed two-headed silver dollars. I have one silver dollar that has two faces. That way, if you say heads or tails, it'll always come up heads. So yeah, do what you can. I guess keeping warm is a good way to break a fever. A lot of sleep. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. I donated $570. Really? I'll have to check my account, my PayPal account. I left my QR code as the thumbnail, just in case people want to donate. Hello. We can call that the funniest because funny instrument, not a kazoo, the other one. Oh, the doing doing. I've heard it called a grumble. They call it the grumble, or the jaw harp, or the Jew harp, harp of the Jews. This one's held up for a while. I had one that broke on me. Whenever they show hillbillies on TV, they always play the jaw harp. Or somebody falling in the mud. Only 34 minutes into the show. Time sometimes flies. Sometimes, like I said, when you hit 50, time stands still. Yeah, my childhood, my teen years, my young adult years, they all seem to just fly by. As soon as I hit 50, it's like I'm stuck in time. So this is the instrument you're talking about. Talk about grooving. They play that song in the grocery store sometimes. Do 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 do. Talk about grooving. My mom bought me a giant bag of jerky. A giant bag, like Oh, is that song? That's right. That's right. Original beef jerky, high in protein, 0 grams of trans fat. Sweet Baby Ray's. That is a large bag. This is like a week's supply. Boop, 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 boop. Gotta move on. Boop, 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 boop. Gotta move on. Talk about grooving. That's a skating backwards song. Boop, 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 boop. I remember roller rings when you could skate backwards, or couples skating. Okay, couples skating, couple skate. Do you know how to make a cat sound like a dog? I don't know. How do you make a cat sound like a dog? I hope you don't mind me eating beef jerky. Those were the days. I remember roller skating. You do. Me too. With the disco ball hanging in the middle. Everyone just got the roller, not the roller blades, the roller skates. Because they went from roller skates to roller blades. Roller skating was cool. You just walk up to the counter and you tell them what size you need, and they would issue you. Oh, I miss the 90s. The 70s. I like the 70s. I lived through the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. The 90s was Marilyn Manson, Green Day. The 80s was Iron Maiden and who was that guy? Ronnie James Dio, Ozzy Osbourne. That's how people used to talk about decades. Now we don't mention decades anymore. We just go like early 2000s, 2010. Yeah. You probably don't remember me. Don't think we've spoken for a long time. Are you still drawing? I was not lately. I was doing some cartooning, and then I kind of lost interest in it because the videos I was making, a few people were even watching them. My first job I ever had was at Kmart, and I got fired, and I deserved it. You said that, yeah, the last, what was it? Just the last live we did. You were mentioning that. What did you do to deserve being fired? There was a Little Caesars in the Kmart I worked at. They took away Little Caesars. They did a lot of renovating to the Kmart that I worked at. And then they tore down, they stopped Kmart. What's Kmart? It's retail. Kmart. I think you can still see videos of Kmart. Now they have Walmart. Oh, you fell asleep all the time, so they fired me. Oh, it's hard to fall asleep in Kmart, especially when they have Christmas sales and the blue light special. I remember the blue light specials. Whenever people would rush to the blue light special, a certain section of the store, they had a blue light on a pole, and they would turn on that blue light, and everybody would go and attack whatever aisle it is. But another thing they had the jewelry section. They had the sporting goods section. Yes, Hollywood Video. I remember that. And there was also Blockbuster, Hollywood Video. I used to always go there to see what was available. You could either rent or buy. I usually bought the videos. I miss video in general. Yeah, just videos. Now it's a Netflix. Now there's just on demand. Nobody likes DVDs anymore. Nobody likes the VHS. The VHS, you had to rewind them. The DVDs. I had so many DVDs. Good music. The 80s had some good songs. The 80s and the 90s. And then as soon as the 2000s started, as soon as the turn of the century, music kind of went downhill. What about, Circuit City? I remember that. You can go there to buy all your electric equipment. Fry's Electronics. Remember Fry's? It was a big warehouse store. I remember going into Fry's. Also in the back of Kmart, they had a whole area. It was called the electronics section. I miss, the Men's Warehouse. We like the way you look. Yeah. Oh, those were the days. And then they had that jeweler. We give you credit each and every day. I'm the credit man. Yeah, it was a jeweler that came on. He would do his own commercials. And then there was the Sleep Train. Remember Sleep Train? Your ticket to a better night's sleep. He would always play a movie one day out of the week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. Punk, grunge, rock, and roll, and hit off. That's right, metal. TBH, there's still good metal bands still going up. Yeah, metal doesn't seem to be dying. Who was Jack Black and Kyle Gass? They made a song about that. New Age tried to destroy the metal, but the metal was much too strong. That's a good song. You can't kill the metal. The metal will live on. We're the vanquished foes of the metal. We tried to win. Why we tried to win, we did not know. Yeah, it was a long time that I've heard that song. Too bad I can't play songs. I wish I could play songs on my street. Yep, Tenacious D. Tenacious D time. What other songs did? Oh yeah, Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy, what is the secret of your power? One could kill a yak from 100 yards away with mind bullets. I miss old Walmart with game testing. They've had at Virgin Records, I think, had, and also Dimple Records. Dimple Records was what we had. They bought and sold. They got good song out dedicated to the roadie. Yeah, that one. The roadie. He was, yeah, the whole song was about we get those lights up. Roadie. There's a lot of cussing in their songs. I'm back. Game shops. You had to stand up and test. Yeah. I just remember that. You could, before you bought a CD, you could play it. You could listen to the CD and say, okay, I'm going to get that. And they had a whole game section too. Dimple Records used to be Tower Records. Way back when. I remember the early 2000s, they got rid of Dimple Records. Dimple Records was fun. You could bring your DVDs, your CDs, and sell them, walk away with some cash. Buy again. What did I also remember? Yeah, Starbucks. In Battlestar Galactica, they had a character called Starbuck, if you remember that. Battlestar Galactica was a big deal for a while. I remember we would stay up and watch every episode from the pilot. What's new with you, Ed? Have you been up to anything exciting? Not really. The past few months. Lately, it's just been Halloween and Thanksgiving. Now we're moving into Christmas. All the family time. We're getting in some family time. The mustache is new. Yes. I'm going to have to, I don't know. I thought it was funny. Remind me of Reno 911. You ever watch that show? That guy with the really short shorts. A couple of those guys had mustaches. Dangle. I think his name was Dangle. Officer Dangle. He wanted to wear short shorts so he could move like a cheetah. Hello. I look like a cop. Yeah. You have any idea how fast you were going? That was, yeah. Mr. Dangle. They're still doing Reno 9. That started on Comedy Central. And they made a movie. Sometimes when I watch cop shows, I'm reminded of Reno 911. I never get tired of jerky. I never get tired of jerky. The 70s, they had Saturday morning cartoons. Sometimes they had live action. I remember watching Spectre Man, Ultraman. I think early 2000s was Morphin Power Rangers. Go Power Rangers. You mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Those are all Japanese shows. Your cop impression was spot on. I can actually, yeah, I can pull it off. All I need is a uniform. Respect the uniform. Respect my authority. Respect my authority. You have any idea? You don't have any weapons on you. Anything that can poke me? That all started on Cops. That one lady, I guess, reached in to someone's pocket and there was a needle in there. I never liked Power Rangers. I didn't understand it. I know. They all represented an animal. I just like the Pink Ranger. That was it. The Pink Ranger, and then there was like, I didn't really, yeah, I just remember it coming and going, the Power Rangers. And then there was Voltron. That was a cartoon. But yeah, back in the 70s, they had that. I wish I could remember the name of it. They had that one kid that went, blah, doot, 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 doot. But one guy had a dart that he would throw. Another, the kid had a bolo. Wow, that was a long time ago. I remember watching that. It was a cartoon. And then there was the Shogun Warriors. Ed, and Eddie. Yeah, Rugrats. What else was there? SpongeBob SquarePants. What other? There was a lot of shows on Nickelodeon. Hey Arnold. And then Disney had Dog with the Vlog. I never saw that coming. I didn't think that was going to succeed, but it did. Man, I wish I was. I know. I grew up when I was a kid, I grew up in the 70s. They had like G.I. Joe, the 12-inch G.I. Joes. And then later on in the 80s, they had those 4-inch G.I. Joes. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, real American hero. What else? Yeah, because I remember Eagle-Eye G.I. Joe. He had like this lever in the back of his head. What was another one? There was the $6 Million Man. That was a pretty big deal. The Bionic Man. And then they had the Bionic Woman. I'd love to see Alice Cooper getting famous. Yeah, he was the best performer. He kind of painted his face like Kiss did. I wonder if Kiss got the idea to do the face. Welcome to my nightmare. He also did School's Out. School is out for summer. You know who does a good rendition, a good version of that song is Guar. Guar does a good School is Out. School. I never went to school. I love listening to Guar. Yeah, in the late 90s, I had one of their CDs. America Must Be Destroyed. That was the title of it. Kids, what was that? Have you seen me? Have you seen me? Is Kiss before? I do remember they came around the same time. Around this, because I remember Kiss, and then I remember Alice Cooper. And I'm pretty sure he was around in the 70s. Kiss was a big deal. They were kind of a big deal. Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now. I like God of Thunder. Have you heard that song? God of Thunder and rock and roll. The spell you're under will slowly rob you of your virgin soul. Christine 16 was another one. I remember when I first heard Kiss, their music isn't as heavy. Yeah. And they looked and their music is beautiful. I just remember Party Every Day. Wanna rock and roll all night. and party every day. I used to have a couple of their albums on CD. That's the best way to get an album is on CD. You can skip around. You can put on a song you want to hear. Records, you could do the same thing. The vinyl records, they made a comeback. Good God. Yeah, God gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to you. That was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Bill and Ted, yeah. God gave rock and roll to you. Gave rock and roll to you. Put it in the soul of everyone. That one made me cry. I got goosebumps because it mixed God with rock and roll. God just goes, here you go, rock and roll. What were some other good songs I liked? Putting on the Ritz. So many people didn't like that song. Dressing like $1 million trooper, super duper. Come, let's mix our Rockefellers, walk with sticks, our umbrellas in their midst. Put on the Ritz. Records was good because nobody wanted to skip songs. Yeah. They would always play from the edge of the record to the center of the record. And then people started scratching records. What was some other things they did with the 45s in the 50s? I think the 45s, they had those plastic inserts that you put in the middle of the record so that you put it on a regular record player. And then I remember turntables that you pulled up the center so you could put your 45 on. And then the record player would play many different records, kind of like a jukebox. The best thing about Christmas is slide their Christmas album. Yeah. People used to look forward to the Beatles to put out a Christmas record. I remember that on the Don and Mike show. 45s. The thing was went in. Yeah, and you could watch the arm come down, pull out the record, and put it on the turntable. I like those 50s songs. I noticed they're starting to play 50s songs. I went to Arby's, I think it was yesterday. Mom and I went to Arby's and they were playing the Nothing You Can Say Could Take Me Away From My Guy. There was a couple of good songs. And Dairy Queen also. The Dairy Queen we go to plays a 50s. Who put the bop in the bop, she bop, she bop? Who put the ram in the ram-a-lam-a ding dong? Let's go do the hop. Those are good songs. Let's go do the hop. Back when Wolfman Jack was the DJ. Wolfman Jack. I miss. Oh, tape decks. Listening to radio. That's what we used to do. We got those for Christmas one time. We called them ghetto blasters. Ours had a single speaker. You could put a tape. You put a tape in it, and whenever a song came on, you could record the song onto they were the cassette tapes. Crazy. I changed my name. Did you? People do that a lot. Memories. Captain Kangaroo. Who remembers Captain Kangaroo? Back in, that was the early 70s, mid 70s. Good morning, Captain. They called him Captain Kangaroo because he had huge pockets And he would always have toys or something in them. Good morning, Captain. You are subbed. Thank you for that. No idea. I love my mom. People always call her. I don't know why she gets called so much by people who are trying to get her on a plan, and she gets mad about it instead of not answering. Anyway, back to the subject. The subject. We were talking about records. We were talking about G.I. Joe. We were talking about the record stores. Hollywood Video. You could buy snacks there too at Hollywood Video. Oh, you grew up in England. People who owned the Sky. Oh, Sky TV. You could watch. Yeah, we had cable. I remember when I was a kid, cable first came out. Cable TV. Before that, it was just you just had an antenna, and whatever brought in the antenna, whatever the antenna brought in, and then there was the satellite dish. You can get if you turn the satellite dish, you can get adult movies if you turn it just right. Cable guy talked about or showed the big satellite. There was a guy who had a huge satellite dish in his yard. You could probably watch a lot of, but yeah, we had to pay for television. We used to be able to watch Japanese in Hawaii. We could watch Japanese programs because I guess we were close enough to Japan to pick up their shows. That's right. Cable TV. That's when we had to pay. Before it was the commercials, the sponsors would pay for the TV or the TV shows. And now a message from our sponsor. And they would have like, M&M's, Michelob. Michelob. Weekends were made for Michelob. Weekends were made for having fun. Then there was the Budweiser commercials. Here comes the king, here comes the king, here comes the big number one. Budweiser beer is second to none. Yeah. The TV was different. You didn't have remote control. You had to get up and turn a channel. Turn a little dial to get to the channel you wanted. I remember the first time I saw a remote controlled television, I thought it was haunted. Now you could just sit across the room with your remote control. You don't even have to get up out of your couch. That's right. Those were conveniences back then. Having a television in your house with an antenna. You had to adjust the antenna, the rabbit ears. And then came cable. They just ran a cable into your house. You had to pay $17 a month or something like that. Now they have internet, cable. You could play games. People would freak out if they were to come from the 70s to now and see all the technology. I thought we were going to have flying cars. That's the only thing they didn't come through with. And phones. You can call somebody from a device in your hand. When I was growing up, you had to go in the house. There was one phone in the house, and it was attached to a wire. You pick up the phone, and there's a wire going from the phone to your receiver. Now you can take pictures, you can take video, you can watch, you can go online, all from a device. If you had an antenna, you would have to pay for a TV license. Really? We didn't have to pay for a license. Got internet now, so paying TV. Could you imagine if you were to just charge each person $5 a month, how much money you would make? And they would have to pay. They would have to pay. If they want to watch television, they got to pay their $5 a month. You could easily afford a mansion with some servants. You still have to pay TV license if you watch live sports. I see. Wow, I don't know why that is. Here in America, you just turn on the TV, and the sponsors were always paying for the programming. It's funny how they called it programming. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I think TV license was, once a year. People are making tons of money just off of entertainment. I miss DVD rentals. I would love to open up a DVD rental house, but then getting your DVDs back. People sometimes keep good movies for a long time. A long time. Became the TV license was, the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. There was a song about that. Mrs. Will ya turn on the telly to the BBC? That was made popular by Austin Powers. BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three. Yep. There was only a few channels on the BBC. I remember Benny Hill, Monty Python, Rowan Atkinson, Bean. He made a couple of movies. It's technically the same as you guys pay. Yeah, the cable bill. That's right. Here, if you want to go on your radio, if you want to do a radio show, you have to have a license. I remember that. They were talking about that on the radio. You have to go get a license. If you want to operate a ham radio, you have to be FCC compliant. You can't just say what you wish. We say what we wish. The ham radio. I think there was a couple of shows like Coast to Coast AM. The guy would be out in the desert somewhere operating his ham radio. But I don't understand your cable. So let's say you're buying cable nowadays. Do you get not every channel? So you buy the cable, and if you want certain channels, you have to pay more. If you want the Disney Channel, if you want Nickelodeon, if you want the Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, there's all these channels that you pay extra for. Some cable companies, they'll throw them in, as an incentive. I remember that. You couldn't get anything on your TV unless you had cable. You just get fuzz, like Poltergeist, when the TV would just go shh. That's all you would get until you bought your cable. And on top of paying for cable, you could pay for other channels like HBO, Cinemax. People called it Skinamax. Cinemax, HBO, the movie channel. I remember when cable first came out, it was just HBO. They would play movies without commercials. How much is each channel? It depends. It depends on which channel you want to get, like the Disney Channel. I don't really know because we use Roku now. We don't use we don't get the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, and like I said, the HBO. I remember that when it first came out, when cable first they came up with HBO. You're watching HBO. And then after that, there was the movie channel. I don't remember how much they would charge for each channel. I remember that. We would wait for a channel. We would wait for a movie. You had a TV guide, and you had to wait for the time that TV or that movie was going to play. So it's like they'd say 4 o'clock on Tuesday. You can watch Star Wars. When you first go a TV, you may how many channels? You could have 100, easily hundreds of channels. If you get cable, and it depends on what package you get. You could just get bored clicking through all these channels that, like I said, Discovery Channel, you can get the Golf Channel, you get the Hunting Channel. Yeah, you can easily spend 15 minutes clicking past all the channels. You have a main channel you go to see when things are going to when shows are going to start. I'm when you was growing up and you got your first TV. I think it was already a part of the household because I think the TV was invented in the 50s. And I remember we had a black and white television. It only showed black and white. And then we finally got color. And then the shows started going from black and white to color. You ever watch Andy Griffith? You ever watch Lassie? And Gilligan's Island was one of them too. Gilligan's Island was in black and white, and then it went to color. They called it Technicolor. That was, and movies way back in the 30s. They had they were showing some color. 1939, when the Wizard of Oz went from black and white to color. How old are you? I am 57 years old. Age. I wonder who invented age. That's terrible. We're fine until we start to age. Yep. 57 years old. I'm pushing 60. I'm going to be 60 years old. After that, it's all downhill. You just get older. All you can look forward to is getting older. It's starting to lose things like your memory, your vision, your hearing, and hope you don't crap your pants. I hope I don't crap my pants. Did I just crap my pants? Yeah. I like the song, I Hope I Die Before I Get Old. Talking about my generation. Yep. I like Bon Scott. He said, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. That's me. Live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse. So you can have an open casket. 27 years old. A lot of people died at 27 years old in one way or another. A lot of popular, they call it the 27 Club. Man, that's pretty dark. We get pretty dark here at Eddie's Funhouse. I found the older I get, the more boring I become. Yeah, Bon Scott. Yes. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. I kind of liked AC/DC when Bon Scott was singing. He had an interesting personality. What other songs? There was like TNT, I'm dynamite, TNT, and I'll win the fight. TNT, I'm a power load. I like Jailbreak. Remember that song? Jailbreak. He made it out with a bullet in his back. Those were the days. What were some other good songs? I like Iron Maiden. When I was in high school, Iron Maiden played a lot of good songs. Aces High. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. I like the Albatross. No, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Remember that song? That was a long song and had a lot of good riffs. Dun, 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 dun. I like not the Trooper. I like the Trooper too. That was another one I liked. You take my life, but I'll take yours too. You bought a musket, but I'll run you through. So when you're waiting for your next attack, you better stand this or turn it back. Oh, 2 minutes to midnight. I like that. I was rehearsing that song. I liked it so much. The body bags and little rags of children torn in two. The jelly brains of those who remain put the finger right on you. The madmen play on words and make us all dance to their song, to the tune of starving millions to make a better kind of gun. I found. Oh, okay. I read that. Mark as read. So this is the Eddie's Funhouse. This is what Eddie's Funhouse is. We reminisce. We talk about cable TV. We play the jaw harp. I like to bring some people from the UK to America just to go experience a theme park. They say there are no theme parks in the UK. Awesome. Can you see my content above this one? No? Can you see my comment above this one? I found the older I get, the more boring I become. God is a legend. You're 20 years older than me. 20 years older. Yeah. That's weird how we just appear. We appear into this life. We experience life, all the ups and downs, all the in-betweens. I think it's time to start eating dinner. It's dinner time here. So you're in the UK, I gather. Yeah, we can learn from each other, what it's like to live where we live. Yeah, you got some keywords. I can't say so. Oh, okay. So it didn't show. Yes, I had to do that. People were saying things on my live streams, so I had to block some words. I hate not having liberties, but people abuse liberties sometimes. It was good talking to you. Back on the 27 Club. Yeah. Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, I think, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain. I think he was in the 27 Club. That is so weird. What's up with that number? What's up with that age? I think 49 or 50 is the perfect time to die. That's right when you've lived most of life. Yeah, 50 years old. As soon as you turn 50, that's a perfect time to end for life to end. I was going to join the 27 Club, but my dad got me a wonderful dog. Yeah, animals seem to really, they're good therapy. And yeah, sometimes that's how it happens. We live because of someone else. We sometimes become so focused on ourselves, and things look really grim. They look really dark. But then it helps my humor. My humor sometimes gets dark, and I don't think we realize how important we are to other people until other people tell us how important we are. It's easy to get caught up. But when you're dying, it's hard to take that. When doctors tell you your heart's not as good as it was, your vision, you need glasses now. Music saved me growing up. Yes, I agree with you. I got life to give, things to love. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. What really helps is having somebody to love. Once you have someone to love and they love you back, that's important too. You got to have somebody love you back. Find me somebody to love. Find me. Like a woman who makes you feel like a man. I think it helps. Women can make you feel like a man when they really like you. When you you wake up the next morning and you had a great night before, maybe a couple of glasses of wine, some massaging, some cherry pie. I don't feel good within myself. I never really liked myself, but I do feel happy in myself when we need to, when people when you make somebody else smile, it's like a payoff, like I hear comedians say that, when they're on stage and people laugh, they make people laugh, and that's a payoff. We need to look at why do we not like ourselves? Why do we come up with reasons not to like ourselves? What wine do I drink? I like the Merlots. I like the Pinot Noir, the fancy stuff. Sometimes just red wine. But then there's the Zinfandel. I like the Zinfandel because it's like a fruity wine. I like fruity. Yes, I'm a wine connoisseur. Sometimes champagne is good. I like the bubbly, a bit of the bubbly. But you got to go to the bathroom afterward. You have to wine. More wine. Pour me some wine. Have bottles of it. You have to drink the whole bottle. When you pop that cork, you need to hurry up and drink the whole bottle. Dude, I'm helping my friend pay off his mortgage so she can get married quicker. My excuse is so we can party. Yes. See, look on the bright side of life, like that song goes. When life is quite upset, yeah, you must always face the curtain with a bow. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Yes, Marlowe. I still have a bottle that I haven't opened yet that I had from the early 2000s. My mom is microwaving something. I better hurry up and end this. I'll have to end the show so I can get a hot meal. Sometimes mom cooks. I can tell when mom gets hungry enough, she cooks. Oh, damn. Mean you keep that to yourself. Yes, keep that to yourself when you back on. Hey, I might come back on tomorrow because I have some errands, actually some appointments tomorrow. Appointments. I'm glad when I don't have to get needles. Hey, oh, I remember you. Yeah, Juliet, you haven't been here for a while. You got me just in time for dinner. Time to have dinner now. Dinner is served. Well, it was good talking to you all. Hey, I know. Yay. All right, it's time for me to get out of this chair. My back starts to hurt when I sit in this chair for too long. Well, you have a great night. We'll have to do this again. Look after yourself. You got to.